Did you know that 80% of one of the world's most beautiful countries, New Zealand, is empty? Yes, no one lives there. But why is that? Is the geographical condition so dangerous that people can't settle there? Or is there some unseen force behind it? Imagine a country surrounded by greenery, mountains, and ocean waves, yet people hesitate to live there. What is it about this country that makes it so desolate? Today, we will uncover this mystery. And believe me, what you're about to learn will astonish you. New Zealand is one of the most isolated countries in the world, so remote that reaching it is a challenge in itself. If you want to travel from India to New Zealand, you won't find a direct flight. You'll have to endure a journey of at least 16 to 18 hours. Now think about it. If reaching New Zealand is so difficult today, who would have wanted to settle there in the past? Additionally, 70% of the country is covered by mountains, dense forests, and volcanic regions, making it difficult to live or farm. A large portion of New Zealand's land is under government protection, meaning new towns or villages cannot be established. In densely populated countries like India, every corner is occupied. But in New Zealand, the situation is the opposite. There's plenty of land, but no people to settle. But is geography the only reason? Or is there a deeper story behind it? Let's find out. New Zealand is one of the few countries in the world where humans took the longest time to settle. Around 700 years ago, when large empires were flourishing in countries like India and China, New Zealand was completely uninhabited. The first settlers were the Maori people who arrived from Polynesia, but for them, this land was no less than a challenge. Dense forests, dangerous animals, and harsh weather made life difficult. There was little land for farming, and they had to hunt wild birds to survive. Then, in 1769, Captain James Cook discovered this place for Europeans, and British colonizers later established settlements. However, the Maori people were not willing to give up their land easily. This led to several wars, resulting in large parts of New Zealand remaining undeveloped. But was this the only reason New Zealand remained desolate? Or does its dangerous climate also keep people away? If geography and history have made New Zealand desolate, its climate makes it even more challenging. The weather here is so unpredictable that you can experience all 4 seasons in a single day. Sunshine in the morning, rain in the afternoon, chilly winds in the evening, and snowfall at night. But the real fear is even greater. New Zealand is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where over 15,000 earthquakes occur every year. And it's not just earthquakes. There are also more than 48 active volcanoes that could erupt at any time. On top of that, being surrounded by the ocean means the threat of tsunamis and storms is always present. Imagine living in a place where the ground could shake at any moment. Who would want to live there? This is why a large part of New Zealand has never been developed into human settlements. But the question arises, is it just nature that keeps this country desolate, or is there something else? Let's explore further. If New Zealand is so beautiful, why do people hesitate to settle there? The answer lies in the expensive cost of living, limited job opportunities, and isolated lifestyle. Living in New Zealand is very costly, especially compared to countries like India. Buying land or property is difficult for the average person because the government restricts excessive construction. Additionally, job opportunities are limited since New Zealand's economy primarily relies on agriculture, tourism, and the dairy industry, and most skilled workers prefer to move to the USA, Australia, or Europe instead. Moreover, the lifestyle there isn't for everyone. Apart from the big cities, the rest of the country lacks the hustle and bustle, malls, nightlife, and social life that Indians enjoy. Think about it. While India has tea stalls and hangout spots in every corner, in New Zealand's remote areas, you won't find another human for kilometers. This is why the population is low, and even those who live there are mostly confined to the big cities. But does the government itself want New Zealand to remain empty? Or is there another reason behind it? So far, we've seen that geography, history, climate, and economic factors have left most of New Zealand's land empty. But did you know that the government itself wants it to remain this way? New Zealand's government has implemented strict laws to preserve its natural beauty and ecosystem, preventing large-scale construction and industrial development. Nearly 30% of the country's land is reserved as national parks and protected areas to conserve forests, mountains, and rare wildlife. In many areas, even establishing new settlements is not allowed. Additionally, the government imposes strict restrictions on foreigners buying land, making it difficult for outsiders to settle easily. So, has New Zealand truly become the world's most beautiful but unwanted paradise for humans? And if so, will this situation change in the future? Now you understand why 80% of New Zealand is empty. Its geographical challenges, dangerous climate, historical conflicts, expensive cost of living, and strict government policies prevent it from becoming a densely populated country. But will this change in the future? Perhaps. As technology advances and remote work becomes more common, new possibilities could emerge even in New Zealand's desolate areas. But the question is, if you had the chance, would you want to settle in New Zealand? Or do you prefer the hustle and bustle of Indian streets and crowded life? Let us know in the comments if you'd like to live in a peaceful place like New Zealand. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share it and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content.